guides, angels, to guide me always for the insights, wisdom, compassion, genuine authenticity, and deeper truths. Hi, collective. I wanted to hop on here and tap into this energy that I am picking up on, okay, and channeling some messages here as well. So hear me and follow me as I move this camera, because I am an arranger. And let's go ahead and start us off with some deep breaths, okay? I am also here to remind you to drink lots and lots of water. It is so essential right now, okay? And I've been feeling a lot of that from myself as well. A lot of that energy has been coming up. Hydration is so important right now. It can cause UTI, okay, for our females and even for our males, okay? Like, you're just like going about your day and then you completely forget you don't drink water, okay, 111, and then all of a sudden you're going to the bathroom and it hurts when you pee. So something to think about. I have some cards already laid out here for us, okay? This is a very powerful and intense energy that's coming through. There's so much, the impact, collective, hear me. First of all, there's something about capital. I heard capital, okay. The impact that the government had on us alone this year, only in this year alone, the impact that the government had on the collective this year had caused much confusion on the collective. Okay? This is shaking up a lot. And not just shaking up things internally, although a lot internally is shifting and changing, because the external world is rapidly shifting and changing. There's a lot that has been shaken up on the external. Okay, that is perhaps making us question a lot on where we are inside, internally. What we are in fact seeing on the external. Okay, first of all, to become so self-aware, to become so aware of what's happening around you, to become so self-aware of your surroundings, to become so aware of your surroundings. Because what is happening and changing on the external collective 333 is affecting what is inside. And we have to know this, that when one does not have self-awareness, when one does not and has not become aware, and choosing not to change in here, it'll affect you even more. Does that make sense? There's a lot of confusion, okay? There has been a lot of confusion here. Alone, just this year alone, the government has made a very crucial impact on the collective. And we have to know where we are internally. That if we don't become aware of what's happening inside of us, it will affect you more. Okay? This has a lot to do with emotions. Okay? We are stepping into depression season, okay? And so as nighttime rolls in, some of us we're feeling the blues, the loneliness, the feelings of loneliness, the feelings of sadness, okay? That as soon as it turns nighttime, you feel the blues and the sadness already creeping in, okay? Lately, also, what I've been picking up, some of us have been in this loop, okay, maybe like this cycle of being in this high and low emotionally. A sense of emotional instability, okay? All of a sudden, emotionally, you feel emotionally at a high. And a lot of those emotions, 555, okay, that are rising, and these are things that, what I'm picking up, these are things that we are not able to control. That if there was a high emotion, if there was an emotion that comes up, collective, and the moment you're going to yourself, I don't want to feel this, and then you try your best to suppress it, you're only going to make it worse. I'm telling you, okay? And hear me when I say this. This is probably something that has already happened to some of us, and it just continues on happening, okay? So for example, let's say for some of you, when you feel the emotion and it's at a high, and you're going to yourself, where is this coming from? Why is this coming up all of a sudden? I thought that I had already suppressed this before so that I don't ever feel it again. I thought that I have already numbed this before so that I don't ever have to feel it again. Perhaps, collective, the reason why it's coming to the top, the reason why it's rising, these emotions, these unmet emotions that are coming up, the reason why it's coming up so strongly for you is because you have suppressed it. Is because you have numbed it. And so you're going to yourself, why am I so emotional? Why am I getting so emotional all of a sudden? If we were to look at emotions as something to appreciate rather than something to berate, to disrespect, then we would have a better understanding why our emotions are there. Okay, this could be, and I feel the need to add that this could be different for our men, okay, for our masculines, because our men have a tendency to really suppress emotions and sometimes never even getting to them and never even having to pay attention to them, right? So for our men, when you feel the emotions, I am reminding you that it is okay to sit with it and to understand it. I think this time around, because it's a very crucial time, and this is why I'm bringing this up, masculine, okay? Please don't get mad at me. I'm bringing it up because in such a time that we are in, okay, it is a very crucial time, and I feel the need to emphasize that part. It is a very crucial time to understand your emotions. I'm not saying to become so emotional that you're crying all of a sudden. I'm saying to understand it, to just simply understand it, rather than suppress it, numb it, go straight to alcohol, go straight to substances, right? This time around, to act on it accordingly, to tend to it differently, to maybe shift your habits a little bit, so that you don't become so neglectful to your own emotions, because it is such a very vital time for us collectively, and not just for our masculines, but also for our feminines, to really understand, to really get in tune with your emotions. That's coming up a lot. We don't actually realize sometimes, like, as we're like just going about our day, you know, we're at work, we're doing our tasks, chores, whatever it may be, we don't realize sometimes, collective, how much we have suppressed our own emotions. We don't realize that we're not actually really tending to it the way that we need to, the way that we should. Okay? And so, in this very crucial time, okay, in real time, real life, real time, not online time, not social media time. I'm talking about real time, real life. It's a very crucial time. That when I say that the government has made an impact in all of us collectively, it has made a crucial impact in our emotional and our mental. So let's say one is having a very hard time right now because you just cannot get your emotions at a place where it is leveled, 11, like neutral. You're in this, and this is what I was getting, like in this cycle of high and low, high and low, high and low, but never at a level where it is just neutral. There's something there to pay attention to. You hear me? I seen 11:22, and then I just seen 11:33. There's something there. Okay. The numbers are very important to me. I speak a lot of angel numbers on my readings. So if you're not one to follow numbers, you're going to hear me speak about numbers a lot on my channel. There's something there in that inconsistency. There's something there in the high and low, high and low, high and low. And this is where I remind you to pay attention to your emotions. This is the perfect time to journal. That collective, when I say, like, even if it doesn't make sense, okay, and hear me, even if it doesn't make sense, write it down anyway. Write it down anyway. For some of us, and I'm getting this, for the ones who have been diagnosed with bipolar, okay, it is so vital for you to journal. We're stepping into winter, and so prepare yourself, and this is a reminder, okay, prepare yourself and know where you are with your emotions. Like know where to pinpoint 1313, your emotions. That when you feel the confusion, write it down. Write about it. What are you confused about? And why are you confused? Where is the confusion coming from? That kind of questions. Okay, reflect on it. Because this is how you're able to pinpoint where it's rooted from. Okay. There's a lot of emotional instability that I'm getting right now for our collective. Confusion even. And I'm going to tell you, collective, and I feel like my intuition is telling me that this is coming from abandonment issues. Okay. A lot of us have experienced a lot of abandonment issues, neglect, and that is being pushed out of our system. This is in fact something that we are not able to control anymore. It has to leave our body. It literally has to leave our system so that we are able to align ourselves with the external, being in tune with the external and your internal. I just got, it starts with our emotions. That when we have better managed our emotions, okay, when we have come to really master in managing our emotions, there's also something there for you to work with, an advantage. Remember what I said, that if we were to look at emotions to something to honor, not to neglect, not to berate, not to disrespect, you will eventually, slowly, will find your consistency in understanding where you are with your emotions. And perhaps in practicing journaling, this is going to help you understand where you are with your emotions. This is going to help you understand why you're confused. This is going to help you better understand where the confusion is rooted from, okay? I'm also getting that in our decision making, okay, you're thinking to yourself, some of you guys are thinking to yourself, why am I not getting what I want? Okay. Why have I not gotten the things that I wanted? 16. Why are things the way that it is? These are actually really great questions, starting with why. Okay, starting with why. I'm gonna write that down. Starting with why. Ooh, a perfect time to also get into coming back and aligning your something about the circadian rhythm, okay? Like changing your routine, perhaps, for some of you guys, because this is a very vital, crucial time, as what I'm saying before we get into winter, is like preparing our mind, body, okay? I also got day and night, and I feel like what I'm getting with the day and night is like we are preparing ourselves before we go into winter, right? So this is in terms of like where we are with our sleeping schedule, okay? Paying attention to our sleeping schedule. How many hours you're sleeping, okay? Excuse me, I got cut off, okay. Where you are with your sleeping schedule, okay? Your circadian rhythm, okay? To pay attention to how many hours you're sleeping, and suggesting you also write it down and journal. This is preparing our mind and our body, stepping into winter. You hear me, collective? That what I'm getting from the day and night is like preparing yourself and how you feel during the day. And for some of you, like write down how you feel during the day. And I'm speaking to the ones, okay, who have been diagnosed with bipolar, the ones who have depressive episodes, okay. Pay attention to how you feel during the day, and then write them down. Write your emotions, your feelings down. And then as soon as the nighttime rolls in, pay attention also to where your body's at. Pay attention, 111. Pay attention to how you're feeling, okay? Going into winter, okay? So much of the impact, okay. We are shaky, is what I'm getting. We're shaky. Because the world is changing. And we have questions. Wow. The world is changing and we all have questions, right? And I'm getting like, for a lot of us, we don't know where to turn to. We don't know who to turn to. It's such a crucial time that it's like who to trust at this point, who to feel safe with, okay? That the world is changing. Everyone is in a different timeline, okay? Who to trust, who to go to, where to go. When I say, I'm following the rhythm here, collective. When I say to take care of yourself, okay. Because perhaps there's nobody to trust. Okay, 3 through 3. Perhaps there is no one to trust. So if you feel like you are one right now, questioning, who do I trust? Trust in yourself. Practice on trusting in yourself. Become so aware of yourself that it gets to a point of you being in complete trust of you and your decisions. Get grounded in the Lord. Give yourself a chance to get to know the Lord for yourself. And I say for yourself, collective, because people talk about God a lot. But they don't know God for themselves. So when I say to get to know him for yourself, to get grounded in him, seek him and find out yourself. Now, I say that, and I know not a lot of you are going to agree to that. That's fine. It may not be a time for you right now to believe in that. And I'm not here to force this in anyone. No. If you have other ways, do that. But in trusting in yourself, okay, in this world where we feel like people have become strangers, that when you look into their eyes, it's just empty, right? We've become strangers to each other. All of a sudden, the world has become quiet. Like, not in a sense where it's like there's calmness, quiet, but like shaky quiet. Like something's about to happen and we don't know what it is, but you gotta be prepared, collective. And so when I say trust in yourself, 555, trust in the uncertainty that you still have yourself to go to and trust that when you believe in yourself enough, man, you can conquer anything. I'm talking so highly, but what's wrong with speaking highly and believing in yourself? That the more you practice on it, how would you feel, right? It even got to a point, it's gotten to a point where we can't even trust our own leaders. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm bringing this up, that it's gotten to a point where we can't even trust our own leaders, the people who is running this country, the people who is running this world. We can't even trust them. So when I say find the trust within you, do that. You are more than capable, and it is absolutely possible for you to do such things. That when you trust in yourself, collective, You will learn so much about yourself. I just got, give yourself a chance to shine. Give yourself a chance to show up and to show out. And that starts by trusting in yourself, is what I got. Okay. Man, it just got really hot in here. Tension. You know, these, when I said, before I speak about this, when I say that, the silence, okay, the silence is shaky because all of a sudden it's quiet. The world is quiet and we don't know what's about to happen. And then something happens and it's never good. Next thing you know, we hear about another shooting. Next thing you know, we hear about another child shooting up a motherfucking store. We don't know. The world is so quiet, and it's like there's something in the quiet that doesn't feel right, right? There's no calmness to the quiet, but collective. When you have become slow in your pace and following your intuition in your own pace, when you have become slow and in grace and in patience, when you have become slow yourself, there is calmness, and you will find calmness within. That even though there's no calmness out there, and there's a little bit of like this eerie feeling in the silence out there, when you become slow in your pace, okay, you will find the calmness within you, okay? Slow. When you have become slow yourself, collective, you will find the calmness within you. That if the calmness is not out there, then more than likely you're going to find it within you. We look within ourselves first before we look out there. We might have been conditioned to think to look out there first before in here. But we have to get to a place like we have to practice, okay? Practice in looking within yourself first before looking for it out there. Because everything that you're trying to look for out there, whatever it is you're trying to look for out there, is already within you. That when you have become slow in your pace, you will find it within you. The answers lies inside of you, not out there. That when I say you can't even trust these leaders no more, when I say that we can't even trust these leaders no more, we cannot trust these leaders anymore. It's a different world. And I'm getting like we have to accept the fact that it has become a different world. This is like preparing us to be more resilient in how we are, in our being, in how we move, and even in our motives, okay? Like, that's creepy. I just heard like they're coming to get you. Like they're coming to get us, 1144. They're coming to get us. And that if we're not prepared and we don't trust ourselves enough, where do we go? 1155. We have to be so smart with our motives, so smart in our thinking process. And this is what I mean, collective, is like when we have become slow, grounded in our energy, we can, we have a better, we're more efficient, if you will. Slow in thinking, slow in speech, okay? Quick to listen, and slow in speech, okay? This is preparing us. This is, in fact, I suppose, a reminder to the collective to prepare ourselves for the winter, okay, 1313, not just for the winter, but to prepare ourselves for anything. We just never know what's going to happen. Okay, and where the government is, okay, and where we are with our mind and where we are with our emotions, that when we become slow, things are possible. We are able to do things more efficient and in order. Things are, in fact, not coming to you, okay, because some of you are saying, I'm not getting anything that I want. Why am I not getting what I want? Perhaps the reason being is that we've completely put our focus on things that are not important. And I talked about this on my TikTok, okay? It's coming back to me again. We have completely put our focus on things that are irrelevant, things that are not important in uplifting our spirits. We have put our focus on things that depletes our spirit, you see. And this could be how the government has structured itself to be. It has become an influence to all of us, an impact, an influence to all of us. And so now we are putting our focus on things that is depleting our spirit, our education, our knowledge, depleting. Slowly, by and by, it is depleting our human intelligence, you see. It is also depleting us spiritually. So that if we were to redirect our focus on things that is important, I'm following the rhythm here, this will, if we were to practice on this will uplift us spiritually, okay? That when we become slow collective, things will just come to you. Answers will slowly come to you. That you notice that when we start healing, okay, and when the healing deepens, everything comes to us very raw, real. The truth comes to you very strongly, right? Heavy, very bold. And so when the truth comes to us, when we heal, when we start healing, everything comes to us in a really real, raw way. And you have to come to an understanding that healing does not look all pretty and, sparkly all the time. That healing is ugly and hurtful. Sometimes it makes you want to go in and not see anyone and not talk to anyone. And that's okay. Give yourself a chance to get to know what's inside. Perhaps a lot of us need that. Perhaps you have gotten to know more of your friends more than you, right? Perhaps for some of us, you've gotten to know more of your partner than yourself. That have you gotten to a point of asking, who am I? Who is Kimberly Espino without my partner? Who is Kimberly Espino without her friends? Who is she standing alone without anyone around her? This is a very vital time for us to really get to know who we are, because each and every single one of us hold a very valuable gift that we can provide to each other. Service, if you will. Okay? Come to a stop, come to a slow, and then you'll know the answers are within. Okay? We need you, collective. We need you. You may not think that we don't need you. You may not think that you're not that important. Because society and the government has now convinced you that you are not important. The government has in fact convinced us to hate one another. That is why we're seeing a lot of us divide, right? That is why a lot of us are seeing tension, pressure, okay? The government has convinced us that we all hate each other, but that's not true. You cannot instill that in your mind. We want to get out of that mindset. The government wants us to hate each other. We have become divided more and more every single day. They have convinced us to hate one another. Our goal is to bind together, because in doing so, we are helping each other lift each other up. That when I say that you may not think that you're important right now, but when you come to a stop and you slow yourself, you get to know the gifts inside of you and the talents that you hold, that you are able to provide to the rest of us. How amazing is that? That God created each and every single one of us equally, with the same amount of gifts and the same amount of talents. Isn't that incredible? That when we come to an understanding and how amazing that is, to really, really appreciate that God gave each and every single one of us gifts and talents to work with so that we can be of service to one another. Do you know how incredible that looks? Do you know how incredible that would be for all of us to work together and uplift each other against what the government has been doing to us? This is our chance to stand up for ourselves. To stand up for yourself, and then to stand up for a friend, to stand up for somebody else who is in need, to stand up for somebody else who is less fortunate, who is fucking starving, who is homeless, who's starving, who is in need of food and shelter and water. You could be that person to help that less fortunate. And you can start today. I love you. And I'm going to end it here because I'm hungry. I'll see you guys in the next.